All right, we are getting close to wrapping up the Gospel of John. Later, Jesus appeared again to the disciples beside the Sea of Galilee. This is how it happened. Several of the disciples were there: Simon Peter, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, and two other disciples. Simon Peter said, "I'm going fishing." "Well, come too." Also, they said that they went out into the boat. They caught nothing all night. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but the disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, "Fellows, have you caught any fish?" "No," they replied. Then he said, "Throw out your nets to the right-hand side of the boat, and you'll get some." So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there were so many fish. Disciples the disciple Jesus loved, again, this is John, who wrote the gospel, is the one Jesus loved. He is our end times writer of Revelation, chosen by God. And Daniel also, in the book of Daniel, is told by the angel, "Daniel, you are greatly loved by God." So there's something about the end times, which is why I go back and forth between Revelation and Daniel. It's because here we are in this time, and there's also towards the end of the book of Revelation that we just went over, that there's special emphasis on reading the book to understanding, and or how do I say this, a speciality, a closeness with the Lord. And so he's going to call us to understanding the end times books of Daniel and Revelation at the end times. So that's why we're called to just go back and forth, learn as much as we can from it. For the time is at hand. As soon as Trump gets that right eye wound, that'll be very, well, to his body double. So it'll be a very planned out event, very theatrical, very staged. At that point, the book of Revelation, we're all living in it in real time. And 2 days following that, you can expect, he's rising. Like Jesus rose on the third day, that spirit of Antichrist will rise. For Revelation 11:7. And he will go and make war with God's church, not as Antichrist moving forward from the abomination of desolation, but just starting World War III. I would suspect found sheep might be jailed one way or another. But anyway, let's just say I won't be very confident. As the whole earth is beginning World War III, I won't be very confident that they won't come for me, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, then the disciple Jesus loved, which is John, said to Peter, "It's the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his tunic, for he had stripped for work, jumped into the water, and headed to shore. The other stayed in the boat and pulled the loaded net to shore, for they were only about 100 yards from shore. When they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them, fish cooking over a charcoal fire, and some bread. That was very descriptive, wasn't it? I wonder how it all reads in the King James. But then in the morning was to come, Jesus stood on the shore, and the disciples knew not that it was Jesus. So I definitely want to say what Jesus said to them. Then Jesus saith unto them, "Children, have you any meat? Or, did you catch any fish?" They answered, "No." And he said unto them, "Cast your net on the right side of the ship, and ye shall find." And so I'm going to read these last two verses. And the other disciples came in a little ship, for they were not far from land, but were about 200 cubits, dragging the net with fishes. So they were dragging this fully loaded net. As soon as they were come to the land, they saw fire of coals there, and the fish laid thereon, and bread. So bread and fish. All right, let's move on. continuing in Daniel 2, where we will get to the mark of the beast as told in the book of Daniel. It's fascinating. Therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. Then Arioch brought Daniel before the king in haste. And they thus said unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah that will make known unto you, O king, the interpretation. They speak in the third person. In the King James, I'm not sure if that's how it's written in the, I doubt it, that's the way it's written in the Greek, but in the King's English of the 1500s, that will make known unto the king the interpretation. So they're talking to the king, and they're, instead of saying, well, make known to you, king, they go, make known unto the king, as if the king's not there. The king answered and said unto Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king, and said, The secret which the king hath demanded, cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers, show the king. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. And these latter days are the end times. I'm sorry. No. It encompasses the end times, but also Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, then how he will lose it, or how it will be lost. Nebuchadnezzar doesn't lose it, but his son does. So it's all the kingdoms, including Nebuchadnezzar's, through the end times, through the mark of the beast. Okay, got it. Thy dream and visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter. And he that revealeth secrets, which is God, make known to thee what shall come to pass. So tomorrow it begins. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.